friends. I hope all is going well for you. We miss seeing you at school here, but I wanted to give you a short little math lesson here to help some of you who've been a little bit confused on our math book. Before we start on the math book, I want to remind you guys tens rods and ones. So we have all the individual ones squares. How many of those equals a tens rod? A lot of you will remember that 10 of the little squares equals a tens rod. And that's what we're doing on our math this week, is we're bundling all of these ones into a tens rod so that it's easier to count. That's all they're trying to do. They're trying to make it easier for you. So I'm going to go back, have you guys go back and visit page 138 in your math book. I know some of you were confused because you didn't have a number there. I'm going to give you a number there. Okay? It says explore it, page 138. So, how many cubes do you have? I'm going to give you this number of cubes right here. I know it may be hard to see. You may pause the video if you need to count anything. I'm going to tell you, I've tried to group these close enough that you should be able to kind of visually see how many are grouped. So I'm going to tell you right now, this row is 10, this row is 10, and this row is 10. So if I have 3 rows of 10 and 2 ones left over, how many cubes am I going to have total? I have 32. So that is going to be the number that you're going to work with, is 32. So for my first row, I'm going to say if I group one of these groups of 10, how many tens would I have and how many ones would I have? You're going to have to think way back to a couple weeks ago when we were adding and subtracting tens. So if we have 32 cubes total, but one is going to be a 110, how many ones do I have left? I have 22 ones left that I've not grouped. Next, on the next line, I'm going to group one more group. So we have less ones to count, and hopefully it'll be easier because if we group them, they'll be in the nice little rods, and then we can count tens by 10 rods. So here, we're going to have how many groups of 10? I've circled one group, and I've circled 2 groups of 10, which now leaves me with 12 ones left. Now I'm going to group my last group of ones into a group of 10. How many groups of 10 will I have now? I'll now have 3 groups of 10 and 2 ones, which then leaves me with no more groups of 10 to put together. But on some of your pages, you'll see there's different ways to show 32. And what they're talking about is right here. If you have 110 plus 22 ones, what does that equal? It equals 32. Here you have 2 tens. Do not forget that's a tens. It's not 2 ones. 2 tens plus 12 ones. What does that equal? Still equals 32. I now have 3 10s and 2 1s, which again equals 32. So when we break down numbers like this, it does not change the total. It only changes how we're grouping them. And as you guys know, it's much easier to count 3 10s rods and 2 1s than it is to count 32 cubes. This takes a lot longer. You guys remember that from when we draw them. It's easier to draw 3 10s. I'm going to draw them just little on the side, and 2 1s. That's much easier to see. Okay, we're now going to come down here. I'm going to slide this forward so you can see a little bit better for some extra practice. With our extra practice, this is not in our math book. This is just so that you guys can see how to do this a little bit easier. So I've once again drawn out some cubes, and I've tried to group them pretty easily so that you can see them. So I'm going to tell you this is one group of 10. This is another group of 10. This is not a group of 10, as you can see. As you can see, there are 7 left over. So how many 1s do I have total before I even group anything? I have 27 1s total. So that's the number we're going to be using here. So for my first one, as you can see, there's not an S at the end. So you know there's not going to be more than one group of 10. So that's always the best place to start. So let's start with one group of 10. So if I have one group of 10, how many 1s do I have left? I have 17 1s. I'm now going to group my second group of 10s. How many groups of 10 do I have now? I now have 2 groups of 10s, which leaves me with how many 1s left over? That's right, 7 1s. So again, if we break this down, and we have one group of 10 plus the 17 1s, what do we have? That's right, we have 27 total. If I have 2 groups of 10 and 7 1s left over, how many do I have left? Or how many do I have total? Sorry. That's right, I still have 27. So all we're doing is breaking this down. So one of your questions asked, what are the ways to show 27? So right here, I can tell you it's either 1, 10, 17 1s, 2 10s, 7 1s, or 10 plus 17 equals 27, or 20 plus 7 equals 27. So let's do one more problem. This one's going to be a little bit longer because you will have some problems. They're a little bit longer. A few more cubes. If you need to pause this to count these, that is fine. Pause as you need. That's the beauty of these videos, is we can always pause and go at our own pace. So please do not feel bad if you need to pause. Please feel free to pause as you need. I'm going to tell you that I did try to group these again in groups of 10. If you counted that first row, you'll already know that this is going to be 10, this is going to be 10, this is going to be 10, 10, and same on the other side. But you'll see, this bottom one is not a group of 10. We have 6 left over. So be careful, don't get tricked on that. So if you count all the total, we have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 tens with 6 ones. So let's start right here. Again, this one only is a 10. It's not a tens. There's no S. So that means we're only going to have one group of 10. Let's start with our one group of 10. Here it is, our nice one group of 10. So if I have one group of 10, how many ones do I have? Go ahead and think back to our subtracting tens. Subtracting tens. So if I know that I had 76 ones, but I'm now grouping a group of 10, so I'm pulling that out of our ones, I'm going to subtract 10 from 76. What would that be? What would that leave us for our ones? That's right, it would leave us 66 ones. So let's go ahead and do this again. Let's group another group of 10. I now have 2 groups of 10. So I've now taken one more group of 10 from here to over here. I'm switching sides. I'm not fully taking them away from the problem. I'm just grouping them like we do at calendar in the mornings when we take our bundles and we move them to the tens side. So if I'm now moving a group of 10 from here to here, I'm going to have to subtract 10 from this number. So how many ones would I have? That's right, I would have 56. Are you guys catching the pattern? We've gone from 76 to 66 to 56. So let's see if we can continue our pattern. If I have 3 groups of 10s now, how many ones would I have following our pattern? That's right, I would have 46 ones. Look how our ones number is getting smaller, but our tens number is getting bigger. So let's move on. Let's do one more group of 10 here. There's another tens rod. We're now going to go to 4 tens. How many ones would I have left over? If you're still not quite sure, you can always feel free to count the rods I have left up here, or the ones that I have left up here. These are the rods I've circled so far. These are the ones that I have not grouped yet. It's also kind of like our estimate jar, how we group them in 10 so it's easier to count. These are our free floating ones that we've not grouped yet. So we would have 36 ones left. Let's go ahead and do another group. So we still have lots that we can group. I now have 5 tens grouped. How many ones do I have left over? That's right, I have 26 ones left over. I still have more I can group. How many groups of 10 do I have now? That's right, I have 6 groups of 10 left over here now. So how many ones do I have still on this side? That's right, I have 16 ones. Let's do our last grouping, because we know that once we group this one, we're not going to have enough ones left over to group again. This gives us our 7 tens and our, you got it, 6 ones. So as you'll see, and as you do this math, our numbers may look like they're changing, but our amount never changes. We're still using 76 cubes the whole time. We're just grouping them slowly and showing all of the ways that we can make 76. So again, if you were to break this down into addition problems, you would have 10 plus 66, 20 plus 56, 30 plus 46, 40 plus 36, 50 plus 26, 60 plus 16, and 70 plus 6. So you'll see as you continue this that we're going to be adding what feels like some really big numbers, but as you break it down, you'll see it's nothing to be worried about. It's nothing to be scared about. You guys got this. You guys are smart. You guys have done lots of stuff to prepare for this. Like I said, we've worked with our tens rods and our ones cubes, and we've added and subtracted 10. So you guys should be rocking and rolling on your math. If you continue to have any questions, please feel free to ask Miss Thatcher or myself. We are going to continue to add some videos as we see the need for them. So if you continue to be confused, we will happily add another video to help ease some of your confusion. We will also be adding lots and lots of videos for reading and writing, and I know Related Arts has added some videos. So please, please, please feel free to email us, Class Dojo us, text us, however you feel you need your answers or your questions answered. We will be happy to help you guys out. I will talk to you guys later, and I hope you guys are having a wonderful week learning in the comfort of your home and learning with your wonderful parents and with your wonderful siblings. And I hope this helps. Bye, guys.